Good afternoon. We have a really special treat for you today, and I know that we are in absolutely challenging times. My own core company, who markets to the travel and events industry, we are having to take a look at some big time pivots, and it all boils down to what can we sell and how can we generate revenues. And there is no one better positioned to help us navigate that but our guest today, Brandon Bornancin. And Brandon has written a new book, and it is called Seven-Figure Social Selling. And I've got to tell you that Brandon has a lot of secrets, things that he has learned over the years, and he could have kept all of these to himself. But Brandon has learned over the years that actually giving of these things, that there's a multiplier effect. And I'd like for Brandon to start out by telling us a little bit about his background. For those of you who don't know him, he is somebody that you absolutely must follow on LinkedIn. Brandon, welcome back.
Yes, thanks so much for having me. Really appreciate it. Thrilled to be here. And, I know that it's a challenging time right now economically, but the good news is you can survive and thrive by selling. Sales is the greatest opportunity in the world. With every challenge comes opportunity, and you can be the optimist or you can be the pessimist. And the pessimist sees difficulty in every opportunity. The optimist sees opportunity in every difficulty.
Yes.
And right now, even though there's an economic collapse, a pandemic, a complete lockdown,
right,
this could be the greatest opportunity of a lifetime if you believe it and if you put in the work to achieve it. So really excited to be here today.
Well, and I'm really glad for you to set the stage like that, because I'm very blessed because I was born with the gifts of what you talked about, of being able to see opportunity in every challenge. And it's natural and effortless for me. I know you have had some long learning that actually began way back when you were young and growing up, and the economic environment that you were exposed to, and then what ended up happening through just some amazing things that happened in your dad's life. So Brandon, why don't you give us that thumbnail for those who haven't had the benefit of knowing about you?
Yeah, no problem. I mean, I'm really grateful. Both my parents came from a poor family. My mom was emotionally, verbally, like all types of abuse she had from both her mother and her father. They got divorced, and then they basically used her as this like warfare against each other. And it just messed her all up, right? Throughout her childhood, she left home at 14, 15 years old. I think it was 15 years old, and then got a job at a grocery store, got a job at a bank, working 2 full-time jobs. My father worked at Macy's, which back in the day was called Maycom, the Maycom company. And he would sell computers at Macy's during the week, and then on the weekend he did construction. So both my parents, they come from working 4 full-time jobs, super poor. And I just remember growing up, we were broke. Like my mom was obsessed with cutting coupons and saving money. And we used to eat out of canned foods. And then I just remember my father got a lucky break selling computers at Macy's one day, where a sales executive at a startup came up to him to buy a computer. He crushed selling the computer to the sales executive. Sales executive offered him an internship for $22,000. This is in the 1980s. He was making over $32,000 at Macy's. So literally he's got this offer to join one of the first software companies to go sell for them in a sales internship in New York. And here he is in Cleveland working at a computer hardware store, making way more than that. And he went home, told my mom, look, I think technology is going to be the future. I think this software thing is going to change the world, and it's going to be a big pay cut for us, but I think we should do it. She supported him. So he ended up taking the sales internship, and over the next decade went from sales intern to inside salesperson to outside sales leader to sales director to VP of sales, building the first billion-dollar software company that went public. And it was amazing. And that company was for Computer Associates, which was CA Technologies. So I got to see firsthand how my family went from super poor to super wealthy because of sales, because of hard work.
Right. And the story that really sticks out to me about that, Brandon, was when he took you to the
President's Club.
Yeah, the President's Club in Hawaii. And you walked into this room and saw all these people just dressed to the nines. And your dad started one by one telling you how much each one made.
Boom.
And even though you had already seen what had happened in your own family, right? You had seen a drastic change from, wearing clothes from the Goodwill, right?
Yeah. I mean, dude, my whole childhood was clothes from, now like Goodwill was 20%. I mean, most of my clothes were from garage sales. My mom did nothing except for Thursday mornings and the weekends, shop the newspaper. And literally, she would pull out the Cleveland Plain Dealer. That's what it was called. God, I haven't said that in like 10 years. She would take the paper, and I think like at the time, I don't even think we could afford to like get the paper delivered. So she would go out, get a paper that was left over at a cafe or whatever.
Right.
They would have the paper at the cafes. So she would get the paper, come in, and just pick out the garage sales in the newspaper, throw me into the car, and we would drive garage sale to garage sale. And it was like, she would barter that. Like, she was the best deal maker on saving money. So like if there was a t-shirt for $1, she'd get it for a quarter. If there was a pair of shoes for 50 cents, she'd get it for a dime. So she was always big into saving and like whatever. Like she was super frugal, super unwealthy. But yeah, when I saw my life change and our lives change because of my dad's, like my dad went and built the first billion-dollar software company, managing thousands of salespeople over his career with no college degree. This was a guy that sold computers at Macy's Computers, at Maycom. Like that was just blew my mind away, right? And then, when I was younger, before college, he took me to President's Club in Hawaii. And I, in the book, which I've got this Zoom video thing going, but in the book, I talk about, hold on, let me share the screen. So in the book, I talk about how I got to go to President's Club. And this was in Hawaii. We went to President's Club. And, we get to the conference hall with all the President's Club people. And he's like, hey, look at Sally. She made $750,000. Look at Jeff. He made over 1.1 million. Look at Joseph. He made over 280,000. And I just remember he was pointing out all these people. And he tapped me on the shoulder at first, and he's like, hey, look around, because everyone was dressed in like these black and white tuxes, and the women were dressed in these beautiful, like shiny, like almost like Oscar award-winning red and blue dresses and black dresses. So they were like in red, blue, and black. The men were all in. You couldn't go to the event if you weren't in a black and white tux. You just look around. And it was like you're at the Grammys, at the Oscars, and he's like, look around, you will never see more people making over 250,000 to even over some over $500,000 to $1 million in a room ever again. And that's when it never hit me when my dad was in sales. Like, okay, like I thought like he made a lot of money in sales, and I gotta think about doing what he did. And then like it hit me like a ton of bricks when I was at President's Club. And I'm like, how are all these people making all this money? All of my high school teachers are telling me I have to go become a lawyer, a doctor, an accountant, a dentist to be successful, to make over 6 figures in sales. Yet here are all these people, half of them didn't have college degrees.
Right.
And they're making hundreds of thousands. And that's when I knew, I got to go into sales. And then went to a college that had the #1 sales school, the #1 business school, and the #1 party school. At the time, it was all three nationally.
And which one did you specialize in?
It was the sales school. Like The sales school and the party school were tied for number one on my list of uh, so I got to luck out three birds with one stone. And then, I launched my first company in the poker industry that did over 10 million in sales in 3 years. And I got really lucky, the right market with the right hard work and the right timing. And then
Until it wasn't.
until online gambling in the US, disappeared.
Yeah.
And then I launched this second company when I was 21 for text message marketing called In Mobile Marketing. I thought flip phones and text message marketing at the time, iPhones didn't exist. So I thought text message marketing would be the future. I take millions of dollars, pour it into this company with my partners. We launch it and it fails. Like my first company was successful because we had the lists and we had like all of our prospects, and then we just sold and marketed to them. We knew how to sell college students and people we knew to join these poker sites. Text in mobile, my second company was text message marketing. We didn't know how to build the lists. We didn't know how to contact the B2B marketers. And then number three, we didn't know how to pitch them. Like
Right.
I'm in college, junior in college, launched this new company. I don't know how to pitch a very seasoned VP of marketing at a Fortune 100, Fortune 500 company. I didn't know how to pitch the VP of IT. So like I didn't know how to build the list. I didn't know how to contact them. And then if I did finally figure out how to contact them, I didn't know how to pitch to close them. Luckily, I did close a few clients like Jack Daniels and Vitamin Water and all these brands, which was awesome. But, my expenses were 10x my revenue. And over the next 3 years, lost everything I made, went 100K in debt, ended up having to steal food to eat because this happened. I launched this company in 2007.
Right.
2007, 2008, 2009, halfway through 2000, like literally I launched my second company with every dollar I ever made, millions of dollars into this company, and the whole economy crashes. I have 30 to 40 people working for us. I've got this massive office space. We don't know how to really sell. We don't know how to build lists. We don't know how to sell lists. And it was the longest 3.5 years of my life. Like, because my family made all this money, but then they parlayed it into the stock market and into real estate. But when the financial crisis hit, all of our real estate holdings went to basically nothing. All of our stock market went to nothing. So now, and my mom got Alzheimer's. So 2006, my mom gets Alzheimer's, like barely remembers anything. She got early Alzheimer's. She was like 40.
Wow.
So she gets early Alzheimer's. Financial crisis hits. I launched my own company. My family is going through financial turmoil because of my mom's Alzheimer's, because of the stock market, because of the housing market. I'm here trying to launch this company. I'm going broke. I need to borrow money. My dad can't give me any money at all. So like after 3 years, I go $100,000 in debt where I had to steal food to eat out of my like this big warehouse company. So like I was in this massive office space. It was like one of 5 major companies that shared a really big like kitchen and conference area. It was when I had to steal food like 3-5 days in a row out of the company fridge area. I just remember it was Friday evening. All my friends are out partying and drinking and loving life because they're like you're seniors or you're a year after graduating college or whatever. These guys are 5th year seniors, and I graduated a year early in my 3rd year, and I'm running this company. So I'm sitting there. It's Friday evening. It was pouring outside in Athens, Ohio, and I'm looking out the window in the kitchen area that's got like 20 different tables. I just remember like sitting there looking out the window, and I'm crying. I'm like, how the hell did I go from like this super successful entrepreneur to this loser that literally is a massive failure, lost everything I made. I can't even buy food. I can't eat. My fiance, my wife now, Danielle, back then we were dating. She would order food and get it delivered to me because she knew I had a negative bank account balance. My family had no money. We went from like rags to riches to rags real quick over the course of 10, 15 years. Lucky though, remember I mentioned at the beginning, like the optimist finds opportunity in every difficulty. The pessimist finds difficulty in every opportunity. I learned a lot from the poker company. I learned a lot from in mobile. Like in mobile, I didn't know how to build a list. I didn't know how to sell the list. I didn't know how to sell B2B. The gambling company was all B2C. I knew how to sell poker
Right, right.
to consumers. And I just got my ass kicked really badly at the age of 20, 21, 22, and 23. So then I shut it down. I'm like, I got to get out. I'm done. And I went into selling, and I'm like, if I got to go back, I got to go sell. I got to learn how to sell. I got to go sell full time. And that's when I went and sold full time for, I was like, who are the biggest companies that I can sell the fastest for?
Right, right.
And I'm like, dude, IBM, the largest tech company in the world at the time, number one tech company ever, billions. And I'm like, okay, well, my friends, my partners, my business partners that shut down in mobile with, they went and sold for IBM. They went to build products at IBM. And they're like, Brandon, you should sell for IBM Interactive. You'll crush it. They're like, we sell these multi-million-dollar websites, multi-million-dollar digital marketing for all the Fortune 100, 500. You didn't know how to sell to them, when we were doing it mobile, but like here they got the system and they got the process and they got the training. Dude, come here, join us, we'll kick ass. So I joined them at IBM Interactive, and for the next, 3 years, we generated tens of millions of dollars in sales working with massive companies, Microsoft, Xbox, Google, Kohler, Spec Products, the cases. Was a big company I won. Steelcase, Autodesk, Adobe, so many massive global brands. Victoria's Secret Pink, Express, The Limited, all these companies we pitched and won and managed multi-million-dollar online marketing programs for these companies. And when I was selling at IBM Interactive, I found it difficult, time-consuming, and expensive. The whole time I was selling, 20% of my time would be selling. The other 80% of the time would be spent on manual endless list building, manual endless prospecting, manual endless CRM data entry. Because I realized my poker company was successful because we had the list. In mobile was a failure because I didn't have the list and I didn't know how to sell. And so when I got to IBM, I'm like, we need a massive list of all of these digital marketing people and the IT and the CEOs. So I convinced my C-suite to give me a $1 million budget. And I bought all these databases, these expensive databases to give me all these contacts. And then when I logged in, on LinkedIn, it would say 4 million people match your ideal customer persona. And then when I logged into the databases, after I just wrote a check for $1 million for these 3 databases, it was like 250, 350,
right.
and then like 400K. I log in and it's like 4,000. I remember it was like anywhere from 2,700 to 4,000 people that match my criteria. I'm like, how the hell on LinkedIn and on the web, there's 4 million people that I could sell to. And then in these expensive sales databases, there's 4,000. I was like, that makes no sense. What I realized is like all these databases are updated by humans and they're outdated and you have to manually like research and call, and it's impossible. There's 7 billion people in the world. How are you going to research 7 billion people? Like in an hour, the most people you can research is like 5 or 10. You can't it's impossible. So then I ended up leaving IBM and joining Google to sell for Google. And I was like, I have to sell to all the top companies that spend the most in paid advertising.
Right.
I was like, so I built a crawler that found all the companies that spend the most in online advertising and display networks and PPC ads on Google and on Microsoft Bing and on Yahoo to give me all the company names and domains. And then I built another like crawler and search engine that finds all the current people with the current titles at the current companies that you need to sell to. And then I used the AI technology that I used to sell at IBM to build an AI engine to research, validate, and verify emails and cell phones. And then I brought it all together, this search engine that finds everyone you need to sell to, this AI engine that researches emails and cell phones. And then boom, I had this platform that could find everyone I need to sell to instantly, get their email, cell phones, insights. And I used it $0 to $100 million in sales, like very quickly. And that was when I made my first 6-figure commission check in 1 month, $137,000 in 1 month. I was in Vegas for a poker tournament Thursday night, we go out to the poker tournament. We party all night. Friday morning, I'm on PTO. I've got the poker tournament starting at noon. I get a call from my accountant, Chris. She's like, she calls me. It's 9 a.m. in Vegas. It's like, I don't know, noon on the East Coast in Ohio and in New York. They call me and they're like, we got a problem. I'm like, when your accountant calls you about a problem, it's because the world is ending and they're going to mess up with your commissions. They're going to screw you. Right. The only time your accountant calls you when you're in sales is to tell you that there's a problem with commissions. And the only thing that salespeople don't want to hear is that there's a problem with your commissions. So then I pick up the call and she's like, hey, we got a problem with your commissions. And I'm literally like hungover, looking up at the ceiling in the Cosmopolitan, laying on my bed. There were 2 beds in the room. My buddy Steve, because we had a bunch of like 5 guys, my buddy Steve was passed out on the bed next to me. He hears me pick up the phone. I'm like, what's the problem with the commission, Chris? What's the problem? I'm like, I'm here in Vegas. I'm on PTO. I don't want to hear about any problems.
Right.
I work my ass off. I just want my money. And she's like, well, if we pay you $137,000 in one, like, if I pay that to you right now, the commission check, you're going to get hit on taxes really badly. She's like, I recommend we pay it out over the course of like 3 pay periods, like 3 months or 5 months. So the tax hit isn't as bad. And I'm like, what do you mean? I'm like, because I'm hungover. I'm like, what do you mean $137,000? I was like, you mean $13,700, right? She's like, no. She's like, I owe you $137,000 because you closed this deal for $50K, this deal for $10K, this deal for $17K. And I'm like, I automated all my non-selling work, the list building, the prospecting, the appointment setting, the CRM data entry, where I was in 5 to 10 pitches a day, every day.
Right.
And I just never thought about the amount of pitches and activity that I was doing. Because I'm a guy that just pitch, close, win, move on. Pitch, close, win, move on. It's like I got this system, this factory. I don't celebrate my wins. I'm just focused on
right. You go to the next one.
The next one.
I have to ask you a question, Brandon. So when you were going through college and in this awesome sales school, did they ever talk about things like list building and about the research that was necessary to be successful?
No.
That blows my mind.
No, and again, this is a back then, 2004, 5, 6, 7, 8. So back then, there were no ways to build lists, right? It was you have to buy an expensive database, and the only database back then was Hoover's or these other databases at the time. The databases that I bought were DNB and ZoomInfo and DiscoverOrg, and they were missing everyone I needed to sell to.
Right.
Then I built Seamless. So back then, the sales school was all about how to cold call, how to pitch, how to role play, what's your elevator pitch, how to present. It was a lot of the rudimentary fundamental training, which was amazing.
Right.
Also, that it's funny because I went to the sales school, the Ralph and Lucy Shea Sales Center. They require you to do a sales internship, and here I am. My first company did 10 million in sales. My second company, I've got 30 to 50 people working for us. So they're just okay, you don't need an internship. You're running the internships for us. So that was pretty funny. But yeah, it was basic training.
Right. So then you set out to build Seamless, and
so when I got that call for the commission check, it hit me like a ton of bricks. That was my next big epiphany. My first big epiphany was President's Club and seeing my dad's life change and my family go from poor to rich.
Right.
We never worried about money ever again. And I wish it happened when I was younger. That happened on half of my high school life. So really shitty growing up life, because I'm getting raised. My dad's on the road. I'm getting raised by a mother who's a single mother while my dad's on the road. He traveled Monday. He flew out Sunday evening to New York and flew back in Friday evening. So my mom's working 2 full-time jobs, taking care of me. And then we had my sister. So she's taking care of me and my sister. And by the way, my mom was abused by both her dad and mom. So she doesn't have the wherewithal to know even how to manage mentally, physically, that emotional intelligence to really
Right.
have the acumen to take care of kids well.
Right.
That's here nor there. But that was my first epiphany, the President's Club. You know, hey, you can do anything if you get into sales, become limitless. Second epiphany was in mobile. You know, my poker company was a success because I had the list. In mobile failed because I didn't have the list. So when I went to IBM and Google, I'm like, I got to get the lists. And then my third epiphany was I bought all these expensive sales databases and they were terrible. They were missing 95% of the people I needed to sell to. They had wrong emails and phone numbers. So then when I made the $137,000 commission check and I made over 1.2 million that year, that was right when I knew. I'm like, holy shit, Seamless is my secret weapon. And like at the beginning of the year when I made my first six-figure commission check, I was like, I'm going to keep Seamless my secret weapon. Because like all my peers were like, Brandon, what are you doing? People in my industry were like, Brandon, how are you winning all these deals? Like your name's going around. Like, how are you closing, finding, winning all this shit, all these deals and making all this money? Like, I don't know. Like I must be good at sales when I knew I built this secret prototype that's Seamless. And I was like, I'm never going to share this with anyone. And then I got that call when I was at the Cosmopolitan and they're like, I'm like, damn it. I was like, instead of selling Google and helping all these advertisers make their lives for the better, I was like, what if I could help every salesperson, marketer, and entrepreneur make over 6 figures in sales, make over 7 figures in sales, make over 6 figures in commissions in 1 month.
Right.
Like, right when I got that call, I was like, my life will never be the same. There are people that are working 3 years, 4 years to make what I just made in 1 month. And I knew we had to go all in on Seamless. I called my partners. I was literally like playing blackjack, and I called my partners, and I'm like, guys, I know what we need to do. I was like, we need to launch our next company. Let's take all of my money that I made. Let's take any money that you've got. Let's put it into this company, and we're going to build it. And then, we built the platform in less than 12 months when we launched it. We went from $0 to $1 million and, 0 to multi-millions of dollars in sales in less than 12 months. And now we help nearly 100,000 salespeople, marketers, and entrepreneurs find, emails and phone numbers for everyone that they need to sell to grow their business.
Right. And Brandon, I think I may have asked you this last time that we talked. So we're obviously in this very unusual bubble, right? Most of us have been sequestered for a month or more, seeing perhaps our family way more than we would like to see them. Yeah, right. I've been working at home for 10 years, so it's not unusual for me. Zoom and things like this is normal. But and I'm married to a sales guy. He sells large equipment, and he cannot wait to get back on the road. So out of all of the people who utilize Seamless to make the connections that they need to make, do you have any sense how many, once they're able to, will actually get back to face-to-face? Or do you believe that this is going to be another pivot for the way that things are done moving forward? Because I will tell you, and again, I have been in a company where we have been attempting to sell, and it has really occurred to me over the last few years that sales has changed forever because of marketing automation, because of the availability not only of lists, but of the tools that literally flood people with opportunities, right? We each get reached out to every week on LinkedIn.
100%.
And the only thing that sets apart the ones that you take, right, are the things that you have taken the time to document in this book, right? The seven-figure social selling, which is part of this 7-figure sales system that you've put together. So what's your prediction of what is going to happen to sales moving forward? Are we forever going to be digital and doing calls this way, or are we going to get back to face-to-face at some point?
Yeah,
assuming it's healthy to do so, right?
So I've got a mastermind, like the 7-figure sales system. my new book, Seven Figure Social Selling, is one book out of 15 books for the
Right.
7-figure sales system. And then I've got this 7-figure sales mastermind that I run every Wednesday and Saturday. And on Wednesday, I basically told everyone that, over 100 people in the audience, and I'm like, you guys need to prepare. Like, this is the worst economic collapse. This will be the worst thing that you experience in your lifetime, probably. Mm-hmm. This will be the worst economic condition, economic collapse of your lifetime. This is the worst it will get. It will continue to get bad, and it's not going to get better. I believe that when we open things up again, we will have another massive spike in cases for the pandemic. So I actually believe that the first spike we were slowly containing, right? When we open it back up again, I believe that the virus will spread worse the second time around than the first time around, and then we'll go back into lockdown. So I say that not to scare anyone. I need everyone to be accepting of the fear. Like, shit will be bad for the next 12 months. Like, do not expect anything to change from 2020 shot. Like, just accept 2020. I will be working from home. Shit will be bad. This is going to be terrible. And like when you
where's the opportunity though?
Exactly. So I in my new book, 7-Figure Habits, one of the habits is embrace the pain.
Right.
Embrace the pain means if it's gonna be terrible, get excited about it. Like, so we know that the economy is gonna be on lockdown. That doesn't mean that you can't sell. That doesn't mean that you can't market. It just means that embrace the pain of not being able to go out, not being able to see your friends, not being able to go party, not being able to do whatever you do. Go to the grocery store normal, you name it. While you're in lockdown, use this time to create the habits, the mindset, the daily routine, put in the extra hours to maximize your income. In March, during the greatest economic collapse, during the greatest spread of the pandemic, my company hit a record sales month. It hit a record sales quarter. I got in the best shape of my life. I launched a #1 bestseller that I don't know how to write. I don't know how to market a book. I launched my book literally on a Saturday during the pandemic. It becomes a #1 new release and bestseller. I'm not smart. I'm not gifted. I'm not special. I just work hard and I leverage these opportunities. Like, you could see it as an opportunity or you could see it as like the plague. I view 2020 as the plague, and I'm going to create as much opportunity out of this plague in 2020 as I humanly can. So I'm going to work hard. I'm going to put in more hours. I'm going to cut out all the bullshit, the Netflix, all this stuff. I do not believe that sales will go back to normal anytime soon over the next 12 months. And you need to create the routines, the mindset, the activity, and you need to put in the work to leverage this time where you can't see anyone or do anything to make as much money as humanly possible.
Right. Well, I will tell you, I just came off of another call. I'm part of something called the C-Suite Network and the Hero CEO Club.
Yeah.
And Jeffrey Hazlett, who heads up the C-Suite Network, was telling the story on that call about the difference between buffalo and cows. Have you ever heard this?
No.
When there's a storm, and this is a story of why you're a buffalo, Brandon. So you need to get a statue of a buffalo to sit in your office. So what a buffalo does when there's a storm is buffalo turn toward the storm and they run headlong into it because they come out of it faster. Cows run the other direction, which means it follows them, right? And they stay in the storm forever, right? Until the storm dissipates. So you, my friend, are a buffalo. And, one of the things that hit me the very first time we talked is just what an incredible work ethic you have. But also, I really want people to know that you have a heart for giving that is amazing. And people should take the time to get to know Brandon, the man, right? Now, you can get to know you through your stuff, right? Because you've got these amazing works. When are the 15 going to be done, or is
Yeah,
this like
so
one a
so
month, or what do you plan?
it's
What are you
it's so
planning?
funny. Like, no, first off, I'm grateful and I'm humbled. Um, you know, I'm on a mission to positively impact 1 billion people. I want 1 million people to get into the seven-figure Presidents Club. So I launched a global Presidents Club,
Do we
which
get
is
to wear red and blue shiny dresses in Hawaii?
yes, exactly. So I came out with a global sales award for salespeople. And literally, when you make $100,000 in sales, I want to ship you the six-figure club award. And when you make over $1 million in sales, I want to ship you the seven-figure award, President's Club, because that moment in time, my life has forever been changed because of President's Club. And a lot of people will criticize and go against salespeople. Oh, they're slimy. Oh, I hate aggressive salespeople. Oh, I hate salespeople. You name it. I'm like, salespeople. The only way that this world is going to change for the better is because entrepreneurs and salespeople, they're changing the world forever for the better. And the only way to do that is if you're in sales. And I want to celebrate every single salesperson out there. So we launched this award, and it's
I
massive.
love that.
And you literally get this massive award, and it's like $1,000 award that I print and ship to you with your plaque on it and everything. And the reason why we did that is because, you know, the more I believe that the more money you make, the more impact you can make.
Yes.
And if I don't help you make more money, then you won't be able to impact more people, whether that's providing for your family, providing for your wife, your husband, for your kids, for your company. Like there are companies, 96% of companies fail and go out of business because they can't generate the sales. I had a company that was part of the 96%. In mobile, I could not generate the lists, which generated the sales. We went out of business. With the economic collapse, that number will go up to 98 to 99%. I truly believe 98% of companies will fail during this worst economic collapse in history. And I just want to do whatever it takes possible to help everyone survive and thrive. And I believe that to survive, you need to sell. Like you need to sell to survive right now.
Yes.
And I'm not talking health. Like I'm not a doctor. I don't give health advice. I'm not talking health. I'm talking about your business, your economy, your income, your ability to provide for your family. If you do not sell, you will die.
Right.
And, in your ability to provide for your family. And I just don't want that to happen. So just like Seamless was our secret weapon, I had written over the past 10 to 15 years of my sales career, from 18 to 30, I wrote thousands of sales scripts, thousands.
Right.
Like I had Word docs of thousands of pages each for different things. And I had Google Docs, hundreds and hundreds of pages. And I'm like, what if I just like literally this was my secret weapon. And I'm like, what if I just give these to people? Like right now, no one can sell. Everyone's struggling. I'm like, that was my next big epiphany outside of Seamless. After Seamless, my next big epiphany was, holy shit, Seamless was our secret weapon. Now we help 100,000 salespeople, marketers, entrepreneurs maximize their success. My next big aha moment, my next big light bulb moment, my next big epiphany was, we need to give all of these scripts to help salespeople. We need to give all of these scripts, strategies, and secrets to all of these salespeople. And like, this book was written in less than 30 days because we took all of my scripts,
Right.
my secrets, and we put it into the book. This book was 780 pages. And my publisher was like, you cannot have a book bigger than 400 pages. He's like, you're crazy. You can't do more than 700 pages. There's no way you can do more than that. Like, it's already too thick. Like, it costs $20 to ship. And we did this to help every salesperson, marketer, and entrepreneur survive and thrive during this time. And I've just been grateful because, it hit #1 bestseller in almost every category. And I want everyone listening, guys, I want you to, I tell this story. I don't know how to write. I'm not smart. I'm not gifted. Like, all I did was just figure out how to sell and how to work hard. And if I could build multiple seven-figure companies, if I could sell over $100 million in sales, if I could write a number one bestseller, new release book, like all I do is I just figure out what I want to do, and then I go research how to do it, and then I go do it. If I could do it, I'm telling you, like C student growing up, A student in high school, but I had to always work hard for all of my A's. Like, I'm not that smart. If I could do it, you could do it. And it's all just about if you put in the work and you stay positive. Like, I literally interviewed someone on my iPad, and I wrote down, here are our core values to the core. I'm like, you need to, let me just share this real quick. I was like, the only thing that I hire for and that I focus on, hard work, number one. If you work hard, you can pretty much do anything. Number two, the only way that you're going to be able to work hard and accomplish anything is if you're positive.
Right.
You're an optimist. If you work hard and if you're a positive and an optimist, you'll be able to pretty much conquer the world. Number three, the way to become limitless, got to work hard, got to be positive. You have to be coachable. When I ran in mobile, I wasn't coachable. My first company, when I was 18, 19, 20, did $10 million in sales. I had multiple Mercedes-Benz paid for cash, crotch rocket, property in Florida. I stopped living at home, and I lived in Florida when I got out of school all on my own money. I paid for college. Like, I paid for everyone's bar tabs because I had all this unlimited money that I made. It made me very egotistical. It made me cocky. It made me not want to learn from anyone. It didn't make me coachable. So when I launched in mobile, I didn't listen. I didn't try to learn anything new. I didn't listen to anyone's advice. I didn't take feedback. I didn't try to improve because I thought I knew it all. Thought I was the smartest person in the world. Well, guess what? When you lose millions of dollars, you work 7 days a week, 18 hours a week, and you lose millions, and you go 100K in debt, and you steal food to eat, that shit will make you humble like nothing you've ever seen before. I realized the reason why I failed was because, number one, I didn't have the list. Number two, I didn't know how to sell. Number three, I was not coachable. I listened to no one. So, like, those are the three characteristics. Number four, whatever it takes. You got to do whatever it takes. And this applies to you being successful during the economic crash right now.
Right.
Number five, no ego. This is very similar to coachability. Like, when you tell me, Brandon, you're like the buffalo, the first thing I think of is, how do I improve 1% to 2% right now?
Right.
I'm no one. I'm a 0 out of 10. I am worthless. I need to get to a 10. How do I improve 1%, 2%, 3% every single day? Like, after getting your teeth knocked in and you get knocked out every day for 3.5 years and you lose millions, you go $100,000 in debt, you steal food to eat, you lose your ego. And, like, you realize, like, you got to become coachable. Anyone that's egotistical, you're going to get your ass kicked by people that aren't egotistical, who are hardworking, positive, coachable, that will do whatever it takes, that don't have an ego. You'll get lapped by those people 24/7. Next, the last two, assume responsibility for everything. Everything good or bad, I assume 100% responsibility for. Mm-hmm. If Chicke's on my team and she does something and we fail, let's just say you do something in marketing or sales and we lose $100,000. Instead of blaming you, I blame myself. What did I not do to make sure that our team didn't make that mistake that cost us $100,000? Right. I assume 100% responsibility for all of our failures. And then I give credit to the team for 100% of the wins. What that does is it maximizes motivation and empowerment of the team, and it minimizes the blame game, the quitting, giving other people reasons on why you failed. Like, you failed. The team failed because of you. You failed because of you. Why did you fail? Figure out why, assume responsibility for it, and then go change it. And then lastly, like, which was part of that, give credit to everyone else. So I mentioned those things on what I look for to hire for and what I believe, like, because that's what I hire for at Seamless. That's what I believe will help you survive and thrive and sell to survive in this economy, this economic collapse. Mm-hmm. And if you exude those 7 characteristics, those 7 core values, you are limitless. You can do anything. Because anything that you don't know how to do, you're going to learn. how to do, and then you're going to go do those things with a hard work ethic, with positivity. You're going to get coached by people that have already done it along the way. You'll do whatever it takes. You'll have no ego. You'll assume responsibility for the failures that you're going to run into. You're going to run into 1 million failures during an economic collapse. You're going to run into 1 million failures getting into sales, trying to make $1 million, trying to make $10 million in sales. You're going to, and then if you build a team, you got to make sure you give the credit to everyone on your team. Like, the reason why I got the #1 bestseller is because of my team. The reason Seamless is helping 100,000 people, salespeople, marketers, entrepreneurs, find emails and cell phones for anyone that you need to connect with to grow your business, is because of my engineers who are geniuses, my sales team who are geniuses, my marketing team who are geniuses, my customer success team who does whatever it takes to ensure customers are successful. Like these are the mindset beliefs that you need to have in sales, in entrepreneurship, in marketing, and in any economic environment to survive and thrive.
Right. Brandon, can you walk us through the titles of the other components of the 7-figure sales system?
Yes. Are you ready?
I am.
So you've got 7-figure social selling, which just hit Kindle, Amazon, print. The print sold out, guys. I'm sorry, it sold out in less than 5 days. So Amazon is printing a shitload, thousands more books of the hardcover. So that will be available hopefully in 1 to 2 days. So we've got 7-figure social selling, over 400 pages of proven social selling scripts, strategies, and secrets. That's this guy that you see here. Next, you've got 7-figure cold calling.
Right.
Next, you've got 7-figure emailing. So basically all the script, strategies, and secrets to master cold calling, script, strategies, and secrets to master cold calling. Then you've got list building. So like you first need to build the list, right, and then you need to cold call, email, social sell to that list. The next, that's 4. The 5th book, which is the most important out of the first 5, is 7-figure habits. All of the habits and mindset beliefs that you need to have to maximize your success in sales, to become limitless in sales. And this book I wrote in 2 weeks because it's been in my mind. Right. Like I had this book where I'm like, dude, I have all these habits and these beliefs and these mindset thoughts that I tell myself every single day when I'm down and I want to blow my brains out or jump off the Golden Gate Bridge because of all my failures and all the problems I'm running into and challenges in the 4:30 a.m. to midnight work sessions. I go, or like investors or companies trying to take you out, whatever it is, all the challenges, right? Employees trying to like screw you over, whatever it is. You got to have the 7-figure habits, the mindset beliefs, the habits, the routines to be successful. And I'm like, I had that in my brain for years. And I literally was like, I woke up at 4:30 a.m., would write every morning. I just cranked it out, 10, 20 pages a day. So now that's in editing. Those are the 5 books. And then I've got a book for every single sales objection. How to overcome, I'm not interested. That's a book. How to overcome, it's too expensive. That's a book. How to overcome, I have no budget. That's a book. How to overcome, send me more information. How to overcome, it's too expensive. How to overcome, what's your guarantee? How to overcome. So there's hundreds of scripts, strategies, and secrets for each of these books. This 15 books box set. And I created that box set because over the past 15 years, I wrote thousands of pages and scripts and strategies and secrets that we used to build an 8-figure business, that I used to build multiple 7-figure companies, that I used to generate $100 million in sales. And I just took all of my secret script strategies and secrets, and I'm like, oh my God, we should give them to everyone right now to help them survive and thrive and sell during this economic collapse. I was like, what if I took all of my secret playbooks and like, even if competitors buy them, whatever, like what if I take all my secrets and I share it with everyone? Like how many lives could be saved? How many families could be saved? How many houses could be saved? How many people could eat the next day because we help them win the next deal that helps them get the commission that they need to pay for their mortgage, pay for their house, pay for their car, to do whatever it takes to provide for their families. And I just believe like your one list, your one script, your one secret away from the life you want, the family you want, the marriage you want, the houses you want, the cars you want, everything in your life is just one list away. It's just one sales secret away. It's just one script away. And my goal is to provide you all of those scripts, strategies, secrets, and lists to make them a reality. So what we're doing is we're getting them on Amazon in ebook and hardcover as fast as humanly possible. And we're getting it built into the Seamless.ai platform.
Well, Brandon, you have just shared so much with our audience today, and I'm just so grateful for everything that you do. And I will tell you that if you can turn me into someone who loves sales, and I think you'll remember from our last call, I have been just at various points in my career, I've been paralyzed because I don't love sales. Okay, but I'm the founder of a tech company, and every investor expects the founder to be a salesperson. So if you can turn me into someone who can sell and someone who actually loves it because I'm equipped, right, which is what you have just done, is you've equipped us to do this. And I have no choice at this point because with where we are with the economy. And as I said, I'm pivoting. I've got a couple of really amazing products in the sales enablement area. And, I'd love the opportunity to share those with you at some point. But thank you for sharing this. And, I haven't made it through everything in the first book yet, obviously.
Yeah.
And
475 pages is a lot.
Well, it's like walking into a giant buffet.
Yeah.
Right. No matter how hungry you are, right, it's still a buffet. So there's a lot, just a lot to digest. And, thank you for sharing those secrets with us. And again, we will get this produced and posted. And I distribute my show, the Game Changer Network, out over the C-Suite Network.
Awesome. Congrats. I love that network. That's awesome.
Yeah, which just reaches an amazing group of people. And then there are about, 250 of us who are in the Hero CEO Club. And awesome. So I'll make sure to share this with them as well.
And everyone, feel free to pick up the book. Feel free to join Seamless.ai for free to get emails and phone numbers for everyone that you need to connect with to grow your business. It's free to sign up. We use AI to give you emails and phone numbers for everyone. It's amazing.
Well, and so let me be the commercial for it.
Yeah, go for it.
Because everybody expects you to be the commercial for it. But let me tell you, from a practical perspective, from somebody who doesn't love to sell, what Seamless allows me to do. And I'm not masterful at the list building yet, but we're going to get there with your book. But let me tell you what it does. I know who I need to talk to. We know exactly who we're going after. I pull them up in LinkedIn. There's a button there that says Find. That is connected directly into Seamless. With one push of a button, I get to the Seamless system, and then there's a little HubSpot connector because I'm a HubSpot user. I press that button and everything is in HubSpot within less than a minute from that.
How long would it take you to do that one contact before Seamless?
Oh my gosh. First of all, I would never get my salespeople to do that, right? You talked about that 80% of the time isn't selling. They never wanted to do it. So nothing ever ended up in the CRM. Now I happily do it for them. Because I can find the right people, and I have started trying doing the list, and I just need to spend more time understanding, or maybe I need to have one of your team walk me through, just some.
Yeah, but it's super easy, right? You click that Find button, and boom, you got their contact info and into HubSpot.
Absolutely, and everything that we need, and then if that isn't the right person, or if that person has left the company, the ability to find the other people. It's literally, we're talking about seconds in some cases, and definitely just minutes. This isn't hours and
days. It's a game changer, right?
It is complete game changer. So again, I know Brandon's going to talk about his product, but you need to listen to me because again, I'm the person who doesn't love sales, but that this product has changed the way that I do sell.
That's amazing. Now, and that's why we built it, right? And that's why I invested my whole life savings. The company almost went bankrupt for 3 years in a row. The developers, like, to build a search engine that finds everyone in the world that you need to sell to leverage AI to research emails and cell phones for every single person in the world that you need to sell to is probably the hardest development and engineering challenge next to electric vehicles. Like, it's a very difficult thing to solve and build, and costs tens of millions to do. But luckily, I almost died and failed and went bankrupt for 3 years straight. And I had this obsession that, like, if me and every other salesperson, marketer, entrepreneur could just click one button and be able to find everyone in the world that you need to sell to, get their contact information, we would basically democratize the ability to connect to opportunity, and in one click be able to connect with anyone. That your next investor, your next customer, your next partner, everything is just one seamless click away, changing your life. Like, Chicke, like you close one deal, it could provide for your company for the next month or 3 months. Like,
more than that. In my company, we close one deal and it's tens of millions of dollars. And so we are literally one deal away from not even needing to raise any money. So,
and that's why I couldn't quit, when we were building it.
I'm glad you didn't, because again, these books give the specific tools. I mean, not just hypothetical. I mean, this is everyday practical stuff. So, Brandon, I know you probably have back-to-back calls scheduled, and we're at the top of the hour. So thank you so much, and have a great weekend.
Absolutely. I want to thank everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please join Seamless.ai for free today. You'll get my daily newsletter, and then follow me on LinkedIn. I do daily strategies, tips, and best practices in my newsletter at Seamless.ai and on LinkedIn. And then lastly, like I said, you're just one list away from the life you want, the marriage you want, the family you want, the kids you want, the cars you want, the houses you want, the vacations you want. Everything in this life is just one list away. I want to help you build that list and get you to the 6-figure club in 90 days, 7-figure club award in 12 months or less. I want to ship this award to you. You could do it. I believe in you. Doesn't matter the economic landscape.
I have room on my wall right
Perfect.
here.
Let's get you there right away. Doesn't matter the economic condition. With challenge and with struggle and with pain comes opportunity. You can do this. I believe in you, and let's go do it.
All right, Brandon. Have a great weekend.
Thank you so much.
And thank you so much. That was really terrific, and I can't wait to plow through the rest of it. This economic crisis, I am going to learn how to love sales.
Oh yeah, you have to.
I have
to. And I'm late to 4 p.m., but what I'll do is I'm going to jump off of this and get you the recording link, and then let me know as soon as we can when you're posting it in advance, so I can help promote it to get people to join your C-suite network, all this jazz.
Absolutely.
Did they charge you to do the C-suite network?
It's part of the Hero Club membership that I negotiated with them. So
what is Hero Club?
Hero Club is for CEOs that I'll send you. I know you've got to run.
Yeah.
I'll send you an email, Brandon.
Congrats.
Okay. Ciao. Bye.
Bye.